um, talk about verse number 16 from chapter 2 Bhagavad Gita as it is. Again, it is text number 16 from chapter 2, and I'm going to share that verse on the screen as well. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, if you can give me permission to share, I can start sharing. Okay, yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I hope you can see the verse. Can anyone confirm if they see the verse on the screen?
Yep.
Okay. So we will recite the verse, and you can follow after me. Nasato vidyate bhavo.
Nasato
vidyate bhavo.
Na bhavo vidyate sata.
Na
bhavo vidyate sata.
Ubayor api drushtontas.
Ubayor api drushtontas.
Tava anayostatvadarshibhihi.
anayotatvadarshibhihi.
Nasato vidyate bhavo.
Nasato vidyate bhavo.
Na bhavo vidyate satah.
Na bhavo vidyate satah.
Ubayor api drushtontas.
Ubayo api drushtontas.
Tava anayostatvadarshibhihi.
Tava anuyostatvadarshibhihi.
Nasato vidyate bhavo.
Nashato vidyate bhavo.
Na bhavo vidyate satah.
Na bhavo vidyate satah.
Ubayor api drushtontas.
Ubayo api drushtontas.
Tava anayostatvadarshibhihi.
Tava anayostatvadarshibhihi.
Anybody would like to recite? Please go ahead.
Nasato vidyate bhavo.
Nasato vidyate bhavo.
Na bhavo vidyate satah.
Na bhavo vidyate satah.
Ubayor api drushtontas.
Ubayor api drushtontas.
Tva anayostatvadarshibhihi.
Anayostatvadarshibhihi.
Nasato vidyate bhavo.
Nasato vidyate bhavo.
Na bhavo vidyate satah.
Na bhavo vidyate satah.
Ubhayorapi drishtavasta.
Ubayorapi drishtontas.
Tatto nayo tattadarshini.
Tva
anayostatvadarshibhihi. Okay, anybody else? Okay, then we can read the synonyms. Oh, sorry. Okay. Na, never.
Na, never.
Asataha, of the non-existent.
Of the
non-existent.
Vidyate, there is.
Vidyate,
There is.
Bhavaha, endurance.
Endurance.
Na, never.
No, never.
Abhavaha, changing quality.
Abhava,
Changing the quality.
Vidyate, there is.
Vidyate, there is.
Sataha, of the eternal.
Sataha,
Of the
of the
eternal.
eternal.
Ubhayo, of the two.
Ubhayo, of the two.
Of the two.
Api, verily.
Api,
Verily.
verily.
Drushtaha, observed.
Drishtaha, observed.
Antaha, conclusion.
Antaha,
Conclusion.
conclusion.
Tu, indeed.
Two, indeed.
Anayo, of them.
Anayo, of them.
Tattva, of the truth.
Tattva, the truth.
Darshibhihi, by the seers.
Darshibihi, by the seers.
Okay, now I will read the translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Those who are seers of the truth have concluded that of the non-existent, the material body, there is no endurance, and of the eternal, the soul, there is no change. This they have concluded by studying the nature of both. Now I will read the purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. There is no endurance of the changing body, that the body is changing every moment by the actions and reactions of the different cells, is admitted by modern medical science, and thus growth and old age are taking place in the body. But the spirit soul exists permanently, remaining the same despite all changes of the body and the mind. That is the difference between matter and spirit. By nature, the body is never changing. Sorry, body is ever changing, and the soul is eternal. This conclusion is established by all classes of seers of the truth, both impersonalist and personalist. In the Vishnu Puran 2.12.38, it is stated that Vishnu and his abodes all have self-illuminated spiritual existence. Jyotimshi Vishnur Bhuvanani Vishnuhu. The words existent and non-existent refer only to spirit and matter. That is the version of all seers of truth. This is the beginning of the instruction by the Lord to the living entities who are bewildered by the influence of ignorance. Removal of ignorance involves the re-establishment of the eternal relationship between the worshipper and the worshipable, and the consequent understanding of the difference between the part and parcel living entities and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One can understand the nature of the Supreme by thorough study of oneself. The difference between oneself and the Supreme being understood as the relationship between the part and the whole. In the Vedanta Sutras as well as in the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Supreme has been accepted as the origin of all emanations. Such emanations are experienced by superior and inferior natural consequences. The living entities belong to superior nature as it will be revealed in the 7th chapter, although there is no difference between the energy and the energetic. The energetic is accepted as the supreme and the energy or nature is accepted as subordinate. The living entities therefore are always subordinate to the Supreme Lord, as in the case of master and the servant, or the teacher and the taught. Such clear knowledge is impossible to understand under the spell of ignorance. And to drive away such ignorance, the Lord teaches Bhagavad Gita for the enlightenment of all living entities for all time. Okay, so I will read the translation one more time. Those who are seers of truth have concluded that of the non-existent, the material body, there is no endurance, and of the eternal, the soul, there is no change. This they have concluded by studying the nature of both. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Nirvishesha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Shiva Sati Guru Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram. So now before we delve into this specific verse where Shri Krishna Bhagwan is instructing Arjuna, we would do a small recap where we are and what is this particular timing where Shri Krishna Bhagwan is instructing Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So for that, I have prepared some notes that I am going to share. So give me a few seconds. Sorry for that. Okay. I think I'm ready and I'll share my notes. Okay. So we'll see, as I said, before we go into this particular verse, we'll see what is the situation on the battlefield. As we know, now we are in the chapter 2 and Arjun is not ready to fight for various reasons that we have already seen. So we'll not go into those details again. But the key reason that we know that Arjun's bewilderment or confusion because of bodily conception of life. What that means is Arjun is attached to his dear Pitama Bhishma, teacher Dronacharya, family, family friends, everyone, and that attachment is based on bodily conception, and that is the real reason. However, the way we see Arjuna, that Arjuna is portrayed that he is in a ignorance, he is in an illusion. But as we know, that is what Krishna's plan is. Krishna is put Arjuna into illusion so that we all can understand the Bhagavad Gita. So now Bhagwan now start instructing. So as Bhagwan starts speaking, Bhagwan says, for wise, they do not need to lament either for who is living or even for the dead. Then next, Bhagwan start talking about soul, that is who am I, and the changes in the body, the eternality of the soul, and soul transmigration. What transmigration means? At the time of death, soul leaves the current body and accept the new body. So Bhagwan now start giving that knowledge to Arjuna. Then the next verse, Bhagwan explain the quality of a dhira. Dhira is a sober person who do not get restless due to happiness or distress, or maybe summer or winter. He remains stable and he knows how to tolerate. So this is where Krishna is instructing Arjuna that this is how the dhira should be, and you should tolerate. And then the next, I think the last lecture that Padmalochini Mataji, I think she took. So where Krishna says the dhira is eligible for liberation. Okay. So here we see how Bhagwan is going step by step, starts with instruction, then he get into the real knowledge. Who am I? He gives the knowledge of the changes in the body. Then he talks about how a dhira should be, that he should tolerate. And eventually they say, in the last lecture, we see that dhira is eligible for liberation. So now in this today's verse, now Bhagwan is going to talk about the seers of truth. So what is seers of truth means? The one who has realized the truth, and that we are going to see today. And we'll see why why Bhagavan Shri Krishna has to talk about seers of truth. What is the need? Why that particular reference is needed, so that Arjuna can understand better. Okay, and now here Arjuna is nothing but he is representing conditioned being like us. So we'll see how this now verse is all about. Okay, so this picture, I think this picture, I took it. It's a Titanic. It's a passenger boat, and I think this Titanic boat carrying around 1,500 passengers in 1912. So this mishap, this incident happened that in 1912. Probably, if most of you know, and for those who doesn't know, so this is a boat that you see in the picture called Titanic, and it was one of the most sophisticated boat with the technology at that time, that is 1912, and it was carrying passengers more than 1,500. And in this, as they were traveling, the person who was actually driving, or you can say sailing this whole big passenger boat, they see there is a iceberg. Now, if you see in the picture, they see the iceberg which is of this shape, and so their impression is what they see with their eyes. They consider this is a truth, and as boat was very near to that iceberg, they steer the boat in a way that it is not going to hit what they consider as a truth. They steered the boat. For them, they see the boat is not hitting, boat just brushed this iceberg. However, what they didn't realize, the truth which is it got unnoticed, which is below the water, that there is this kind of a bigger giant portion of iceberg. So as boat started brushing behind, like below the water, where there are bigger giant wheels that actually bring the motion to the boat, those actually strike very hard with those icebergs. Now those icebergs, they are also like hard as snow, hard as a stone, and that strike that impacted bottom portion of the boat. Again, boat, as you might have seen, the portion that you see on the top, more or less the same portion these kind of boats have below the water too. And that portion strike the iceberg which is below the water, and it actually, I would say, opened up the portion in the bottom of the ship, and the water starts going inside. So I think my whole point to bring this particular example is the people who were actually selling this big boat, their truth is what they see, which is above the water. They didn't realize, and then there is a very bigger iceberg below the water, right? So there is an illusion for them, and the truth gets unnoticed. And the impact is almost more than 1,500 people, they got killed. It's a very big and a sad incident in the history. So now I took this example of the person who see the truth. And this is a light kind of this example is on the lighter note. And we'll see this verse, how this helps us about how to see the truth. Seers of truth. So this is a verse that we just recited together. And the one that is highlighted in yellow color, those two words we'll see first. Tattva-darshibihi. So what tattva means? Tattva means absolute truth. The spirit whole. Both words are, I think, many of you may know, but for some of you who doesn't know what absolute truth means, so we will see. I have some more notes to explain this concept. What is absolute truth? We know truth. What is absolute truth? And the spirit whole. In short, the absolute truth which do not change over a period of time, that always remain the same. That's the definition of absolute truth. And we'll see what the spirit whole means. So here spirit whole is actually nothing referred to as a Krishna. Krishna is absolute truth. And we'll see in more detail how that is. So Tattva-darshibihi. So Tattva is absolute truth, which is Krishna, and the realization of Krishna. So Tattva-darshibihi are those people who realize the absolute truth. It's not just knowing the truth, it's also realizing the absolute truth. So those are Tattva-darshibihi. So those are the seers of Tattva. Now in this particular verse, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada is helping us to understand with examples of classes of seers. What are the classes? What are the types of seers? So let's understand those. Srila Prabhupada talk about two types, impersonalist and personalist. So for those who doesn't know what impersonalist are those who do not believe on the personal form of God or personal form of Krishna, personal form of absolute truth. They do not believe that. On the other side, the personalist, that is devotee primarily, they believe on personal form of Krishna. Now, in the context of this verse, both these classes, okay, both these classes, they understand, they recognize that body is changing and the soul is eternal. What that means? So today, as we are attending all our classes, we are right now attending these classes. Everybody, right? We have a human body. We all, when we take a birth, we were like small infant. Then, as we grow, body keep changing. However, body, but there is what bring the consciousness in the body, because body itself is a dead matter. So what brings consciousness? What makes your heart pumping? What makes the blood cells in the blood vessels to carry the oxygen? That's the soul. Modern science cannot explain this. They only explain that because of actions and reactions of the blood cells, your body changes. Okay, so as we see, now Srila Prabhupada said, impersonalist and personalist both accept this concept of bodies changing and soul eternal. But the only difference between the two, as per Srila Prabhupada, is once you leave the body, then you merge with something supreme. And then merging means you as an individual, so your individuality is lost. Right? It's like you have the salt, and when you put the salt in the water and when you stir, it gets merged into the water, right? There is no identity. Its individuality is lost. However, the personal is that devotee, right? Even in the Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, who read those shastras. So what, as per that knowledge, as per that shastra, at that time, even after leaving the body, your soul or individuality remain, it doesn't get lost. That is the only difference. However, from this verse perspective, both are the classes of seers of truth. Now, the another example Srila Prabhupada mentioned in this example is in the purport is modern scientist. So modern scientist means people who are inventing different, say, who are constantly studying the human, the internals, because they are probably discovering medicines. They are evaluating, analyzing how the bloods are different proteins, whatnot, red cells, white cells. Now, when they explain that how body changes from an infant to youth to adult to old, their definition is because of the actions and the reactions of the cells. However, what they cannot explain, what causes those actions and reactions in the cells. That's where science stops. And that clarity is only available in Shastras like Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. So what is the cause? The consciousness. Who bring the consciousness in the body, which is soul. And that because of that soul, as I said earlier, these actions, reactions within the cells, then pumping the heart, working of brain, everything is operational only because of the presence of a soul. But at the time of a death, the soul leaves, which means the one who provide this all momentum, he leaves, and then there is a dead matter. Okay. So now, reasons. Now the question comes, okay, we don't know the truth. Sometimes we don't know the truth. What are the reasons why we don't know the truth? So this is something I think this article written by Hari Krishna Das on Back to Godhead, and I borrow these points. I really like how he articulated. The way he says, first reason, cutting person off from the source of truth. Meaning the person is not even aware of the truth. One example that came to my mind, when Srila Prabhupada, when he arrived in US, I think he first was interacting with hippies, I think in San Francisco area. So hippies are those that, it is not community, but youth. So they have no knowledge of this truth. For them, the life is eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. So they are completely cut off from the source of the truth. What is the real truth? So that is one reason that someone may not even know the truth. Second reason is cheaters who call them as a authority, fake authority. They provide alternate facts, means alternate truth based on convenience. So one example that came to my mind is, sometimes we see people say, oh, there are many gods. Someone say goddess Durga is God. Some say Lord Ganesha is God. And many, so and so forth. Another category of people, they even say, I am God. Everyone is God. So these are some of the examples where fake authority, they provide these alternate facts, and what it does eventually, it creates a reality which is subjective. It's not as per Shastra. These are the two reasons for not knowing the truth. And what is the outcome? People get misled. So going back to the Titanic example, if you don't know the truth, the impact is a boat crash and a lot of fatality, death. That's a material example. But in here, if you go in the wrong direction, the impact is huge. You get into a repeated cycle of birth and death if you don't know the truth. Okay, so this is the reasons for not knowing the truth. Now next, as I said earlier, we use this term absolute truth on the first slide. And I thought to put one slide in case someone doesn't know what absolute truth term means. Absolute truth, it refers to a reality which doesn't change over time. I think the source for this is an article on Krishna.com. It explains very nicely. Krishna is absolute truth, very clear. So that reality doesn't change over time, like body, it changes over time. Absolute truth is source of everything and ultimate cause of all causes. Two things, source, and second is the cause of causes. Now, to explain this cause of all causes means, if we take example of, say, Earth or planets or the universe, at least from visibility perspective, we can see Earth and we can see some stars in the night in the sky, right? But even with our eyes, we haven't even seen the whole universe. Of course, we just read in the books. But the cause of that whole creation is absolute truth. And what is the authority? Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is authority to clarify this. The absolute truth is the source of everything and the cause of all causes. All other truths are relative to it or depend on it. Any other truth, if there is any, that's depend on this absolute truth. So this is all about absolute truth. And the next thing is how to, now the next, so we have absolute truth, but what next? Next step is realizing the absolute truth. So there is one verse which is from Srimad Bhagavatam that you see on the slide. So you see that it is Canto 1, chapter 2 and verse number 11. So it goes like this: Vadanti tat tattva vidas tattvam yach jnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavaniti sabdyate. So there are three words highlighted: brahmeti, paramatmeti, bhagavaniti. So let's see what realization. So there are three types of students as per the purport of this verse. Impersonalist, who realize absolute truth as impersonal Brahman. Yogi, they realize absolute truth as a Paramatma, super soul. And devotee, who realize the absolute truth as a Bhagavan. So these are different. Now question is, why these three different types of realizations? So this is one thing we need to understand. It's, even though these are three different types of realization of the same absolute truth, qualitatively all are one and the same. This is as per this purport of this Srimad Bhagavatam, of this verse. And second thing is, we can understand this is as a, as you, it is a increasing levels of realization. This is one of the article on Krishna.com. I like this, the way they say it could be an increasing level. So initially some people may not even think about Bhagwan as devotee. They start with maybe just impersonal Brahman. That's step one. As they grow, then eventually they may realize Bhagwan as Paramatma, super soul, which resides in everybody's heart. And eventually the Bhagwan. That is why it says increasingly levels of realization. Okay, so now this is, so I think this whole verse is about truth seer, who see the truth. So we looked at what absolute truth is. We looked at different types of students. And now let's see example of a truth seer. Vasudev. I think this is probably known to everyone, but in case who doesn't know, what the picture that you see is the father of Sri Krishna. When Sri Krishna appeared, right, on this material world, and this is a time when Sri Vasudev is bringing Krishna to Nanda Maharaj house. Now Vasudev is an example of a truth seer. This is explained in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 3 and verse 14. Now why Vasudev is a truth seer? This is how explained by the Srila Prabhupada. Vasudev begot the Supreme Personality of Godhead. What is begot means? Of course, giving birth. So Vasudev and Devaki, their couple, right? They gave birth to Krishna. However, he was in full knowledge that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna is, he is the Krishna, Supreme Lord. And he knows it is just appearance and disappearance. There is really no birth and death for Krishna. That is, so he knows that knowledge. And that's why in that purport, Srila Prabhupada said, Vasudeva is a Tattvadarshi. The same, these two words we saw on the first slide. Tattvadarshi, who see the real truth. There is no ignorance. That's the example of a truth seer. And the second example that came to my mind is our beloved, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. I think for us, at least for me, who was spent most of my early life in ignorance, and Srila Prabhupada, he saw the truth, that, and then he is the one who founded the International Society of Krishna Consciousness for only one reason, right? To spread this truth. Who am I? What is my relationship with the God? And what am I supposed to do in the human form of life? So he's a truth seer for all of us. Now the question is, why truth seer? Why we need truth seer in our life? That's what this, so this, I got this point very nicely in the Back to Godhead article written by Hari Krishna Das. So when one receives this knowledge from a truth seer, so truth seer is not a fake person, okay? So he is the one, he is a authority. He's authoritative and he's a self-realized person. When someone hears that knowledge of absolute truth from such a person, these are the benefits. It can help to revoke the fear. Because now if we connect this to Arjuna and Krishna, this particular verse, Arjuna is bewildered. But Krishna is talking about seers of truth. So why truth seers? Because this is how the benefit is. Because when you hear or get the knowledge from those seers, that helps to revoke your fear. fear is really about fear of what? Right? So once you know you are not the body, you are a soul, then your fear goes away, because soul is eternal. Second, it helps to purify your consciousness. And the last one, it helps make you dhira. Dhira means one who doesn't get restless. Who the restless to what? The manipulation done by the fake people, fake saints, fake acharyas, fake authorities. That is very important in this current age, because everywhere you see, if you are not careful or cautious, you may get misled by the wrong teaching, and that will eventually be a big loss. So this is why we need truth seer. So now, as in the purport, Srila Prabhupada covered these very important topics about, one is about seers, and now this about knowledge. What Arjuna, so Arjuna at this stage, he is showing, actually it's an example for as an ignorance. So what is the ignorance is about? So ignorance is about who am I and what is my relationship. Okay, and what the soul is, what the body and the soul is, right? So that's why he's ignorant. That's why he's very attached. He doesn't want to fight. Now in the purport, Srila Prabhupada covered this knowledge aspect. So energetic. Srila Prabhupada give example of energetic and energy. So energetic, where Srila Prabhupada said the master, and energy means servant. In that context, Srila Prabhupada give reference to Bhagavad Gita, verse 7.5. Apare, okay, so I will read the verse, but we'll focus on those which are highlighted. Apareyam itastva anyam prakrutim vidhi me param jiva bhutam mahabaho yayedam dharyate jagat. What that means, the translation is, besides this, O mighty Arjun, there is another superior energy of mind, which comprises the living entities who are exploiting the resources of this material inferior nature. Again, I'll go back to those highlighted two words, apare, that is apare, and param. Okay, so apare is the superior energy. If I'm not making mistake, I usually, and param is, I believe, the inferior energy. Okay, and if I'm making some mistake, it may be opposite. But the point is, we living being are superior energy, and when we are on the earth, as per this verse, we are exploiting the resources of material, that is inferior nature. However, when we are here on the earth, we think we belong to this material world. That's where the illusion starts. However, this particular point, Srila Prabhupada want to indicate what is our relationship. That is, our relationship is a master-servant relationship. That is energetic and energy. Then the second point that Srila Prabhupada mentioned, the relationship, he gave example of part and a whole. So Krishna is a spirit whole, we saw in the first slide. And we are a little minute, infinitesimally small part of Krishna. However, right, we may not be, we are qualitatively same as Krishna, but quantitatively we are not. We are part of, because like as we are also trying, as we see, like we are always trying to, we are hankering for happiness. Why? Because that's the quality of Krishna. So Krishna is Sachidananda Vigraha. So we as a part of the Krishna, we also want to be always in happiness. That's why we see that particular aspect when even on this material world, we are looking or hankering for happiness. Although we run behind a temporary one, but once we get this knowledge, we understand what is the real happiness is. And the last point is, we should understand the difference between us and Supreme. So what that difference is, that is we are Ansha. We are the part and small part of the Krishna. And the next verse, I think tomorrow we'll see how that difference plays a part, because we condition being, when we are in a, let's say in the human body or animal body, right? We only know, say, pain or anything, any feeling of that body only. So for example, if I pinch to my hand, only I can feel the pain of that pinch. But if someone else is pinching himself, I wouldn't feel that pinch. What that means, soul is only is the boundary is the where the body, where inside he is. However, Krishna is present in everyone's heart. So Krishna knows in everyone what that soul is doing, what are the actions and karma he's performing. That is the difference. Okay, and so that's the knowledge. And at how Srila Prabhupada end his purport is absence of this knowledge put one into ignorance, and that's the example where Arjun right now is. Okay, so this is the knowledge. So I think that's what I would like to share as a part of this particular verse. Again, just to recap quickly, this particular verse talk about the seers of truth. Seers of truth, there are two classes. We talked about impersonalist and personalist. Both recognize body changes and soul is eternal. However, the difference is, by impersonalist thing, once you leave the body, then you, mean that soul, get merged with the Supreme. So you lose your identity. Personalists do not think that way. Devotees do not think that way. Because devotee, as per our Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam knowledge, Shastric knowledge, soul continue to have its identity even soul leave the body at the time of death. So we saw those two types of seers of the truth. Then we also talk about modern scientists who have a limited knowledge of, and they can explain to a certain level how body changes are happening from over the period of life, but they cannot explain who is causing the actions and reactions of the cells, blood cells, white cells, etc. Then we looked at the definition of absolute truth, because these two words are used. What is absolute truth? We looked at absolute truth, and we understand absolute truth is Krishna. And this is not just a sentimental statement, but it is coming from Srimad Bhagavatam. So Sri Krishna is the absolute truth. And then after that, we looked at examples of seers of truth. That is Vasudev, father of Krishna. We looked at example of Srila Prabhupada. And then the way Srila Prabhupada end this purport, he talked about the relationship part. That is, what is the relationship should be between us and absolute truth. That is master and servant, energy and energetic. Right? And Srila Prabhupada finally concluded that when there is a lack of or absence of such knowledge, that means it's an ignorant state. And that's where right now Arjun is. And Bhagavan is explaining this to Arjun so that his ignorance will be gone eventually, and he will understand what his real duty is. So with that said, I'll stop here. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening to this class. And I request everyone, if you have any question, realization, please share. And please correct me if I have made any mistake, knowingly, unknowingly. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Smita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Okay. So if no comments and no question, then maybe we can stop here and we can pray to all assembled devotees, and then we can stop. And I think, I don't know if Rasaraj Prabhuji is around, and if he want to
Yes, Prabhu.
get his quiz.
Yeah, I have some questions. Okay, let's see. Okay, before that, what I will do.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, are you ready?
Yes, Prabhu. It's already in progress. Don't you see that?
Oh, maybe I'm not host. Okay, okay. I'm host probably. That's why I don't see it.
No, you also can see now because you're not seeing the questions.
No, no problem.
There is a poll or some option will be there. You need to click or okay.
Okay, okay. I'll check. I don't. Let me check.
It's in progress.
Okay.
Prabhu, classes of seeds need to be like 2 classes, no, Prabhu? Like it should be a multiple.
Okay. Okay, then it's.
Am I right or?
Yeah,
Yes,
it could
Mataji.
be. It could be. I
Both,
missed to
right,
select the
Prabhu?
multiple choice. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Prabhu. Okay.
Yeah.
You need to give extra points for that question, Prabhuji.
All right. We can take more 30 seconds. I see almost 80% are done. Just 3 more devotees are pending.
If I am Prabhuji, I'm that because I didn't get the poll. So yeah.
Okay,
So
no.
just okay.
No, except okay. Except, did you see now or
Not yet.
not yet? Okay.
No problem, Prabhu. No problem.
Okay, that's okay. Yeah.
That's okay. No, I'm saying so you may be counting me that you are saying, right? 3 are.
Now it shows in the board. It shows that how many has already answered. So I see 2 devotees are left. So if anyone is answering, just let me know. I will wait for a few more seconds. Okay. Looks like everyone is done. Okay, I'm ending the quiz now. Okay, I think 1 devotee is left. Like, please let me know if you are answering. I won't end. All right, we are good now. So I'm sharing my result. You can see result, Prabhu?
No, Prabhuji. I don't see.
All right, I can read it. So some of the questions from purport. What is the purpose of Bhagavad Gita? Okay. So the answer is Bhagavad. It's like last point in the purport. Prabhupada says Bhagavad Gita is for enlightenment of all living entities for all time to come and to drive away all ignorance. These 2 points mentioned in the purport at the last. And the second question is, what does the non-existence and eternal refer here? Right? So the correct answer is the non-existence is material body and eternal existence is the spirit soul. So that's the correct answer. Third question, yeah, little it's little difficult. I would say not difficult, little tricky. What are the different kinds of ignorance or misgiving mentioned in the purport, right? So if you see that identifying with the matter and identifying oneself as a god, like that is impersonalist, and those what Prabhuji discussed today, right? These are the 2 are the source of ignorance or different kinds of ignorance. Then again, what are the process of removal of that ignorance also there? The process is the re-establish the relationship between Lord and ourselves, and understand the difference between living entity and Supreme Lord. So these two are the answer to process of removal. It's also mentioned in that. So how the energy and energetic are compared? Okay, so energy is compared as living entity and energetic is Supreme Lord. That's what we discussed today. So what are the classes of seers, right? So this is like Prabhuji we discussed in the like personalist and impersonalist. And I'm sorry for not allowing multiple choice this question. But those who are thinking both, they get full mark. So next question is, which verse did speaker quote to explain impersonal Brahman, Bhagwan, Paramatma, all this, right? So the answer is Vadanti Tat Tattvavidas. That's from Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagwaniti, right? So that is the correct answer. So last question is, which example was discussed about seers of truth? I mean, which personality we discussed? The seers of the truth is Vasudev and Srila Prabhu. That's two Prabhu mentioned in today's class. So that's all for today's quiz. Thank you everyone for participating. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, we'll just say the recited shloka for the devotees. Vancha kalpa tarubhyasya kripa sindubhya evacha patitanam pavasibhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta koti Vaishnava ki jai.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Madhavkanta Prabhu ki jai.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.